Back into the Ladbrokes Lab for a look at the golden gift. This golden spring carnival continues. This time it's the gift for the 2-year-old.
And it's extremely interesting. Second running of the race, and it's fun to watch. And the barriers are interesting, which I'll get into a little deeper in a moment. But if you're looking at where these main horses are coming from, Ohio is going to be very top of the market. We have a look at this, some speed for Queen of the Ball. If it's learned its lesson from its debut run, I think that's going to be huge. And the favourite, well, it probably doesn't matter when it comes to the favourite because it'll go back anyway. But I do want to mention this because these are 2-year-olds. Some are on debut, some have only had the one run. In fact, the majority are so inexperienced and young in their careers. So when the gates open, sometimes it's like a flip of the coin. We have no bloody idea what's going to happen, and neither do the jockeys. But if you have some early gate speed, it means you don't have to try and work them up, unbalance them, get them a little on edge to find the right spot. So for Queen of the Ball, for Cannonball, they're the type of horses, Ohio as well. They want to be make sure nice and relaxed in the gates, but the moment they open, they go because they want to be on speed.
Yeah, and I'm keen to know where they're going to settle. Where does Ohio go? Similar spot, maybe in the box seat?
Almost identical to last time. That's what I would be doing. Sit right here out of that nice gate barrier 3. Cannonball will use the gate and that early gate speed. Queen of the Ball's the interesting one. Drawn somewhat sticky like its debut run in the Kirkham a couple of weeks back and had to do too much work. If you can get there easier today, it does excite me.
Charlatan flew home last start. Goes back again?
It most certainly does, and there's going to be speed in the race. And Darren Flindell, the second best caller in the world behind Matt Hill, didn't even call the horse until it was over. That's how far back it was. And I do expect from that gate that it might go back a little bit as well. But I will say this. Again, with these 2-year-olds, sometimes how they jump is where you actually present them. But the speed will be here. Queen of the Ball was so green in the straight. And I think easy run in transit, don't get so fired up. I think when we come into the straight, Queen of the Ball will learn from last time. And I'll get to that in a moment. But I'm assuming the money is coming for Queen of the Ball.
Not quite. It's more up the top. Charlatan has been $4.60 into $3.90, and Ohio, can't believe we got $11 into $8.
I'm punching the air because I can't believe I'm getting $10 for Queen of the Ball, who will be a hell of a lot better than how green it was on debut. I think second up, it's perfect to run that. Nice race in front, and Contemporary was the favourite in that race at the Kirkham where they've all come out of. Didn't enjoy running inside a couple of horses. I think give it a bit of clean air. Also in its second start, I think would be great. I'm happy with the odds. Look at me, I'm dancing.
Shows the depth to the race because I've gone Ohio. I thought it was a professional win, pushing through a narrow gap to win well. And I think that Noble is the best roughie. Ladbrokes Lab time now for the Mackinnon Stakes, one of the really big ones on the last day of this magnificent carnival. Show us the barrier draw, but before we do, how's the voice?
Well, the voice is great. No dramas at all with the voice. I'm firing on. It's Cup week. You've got to push through.
But you had a big Cup night.
I didn't have a big Cup night. I did enjoy it. Hey, it's the Melbourne Cup. It only comes around once a year, so I did have a nice night. But
we're going to keep you in the lab afterwards to investigate this. But let's get into the barrier draw for this race because you're in love with Zaki.
I most certainly am. We'll start with the two. Homesman will take out from that gate. Delasan will go forward as well. And the big Zaki, Mr. Cox played a couple of weeks ago from Barrier 8. J-Mac, ready. What a week he has had on board. So when we look at the settle grid, it'll be interesting because I've been able to just earmark 3 horses.
Yeah, well, who have you got out there? I see that Zaki's one of them, but a couple on the quick backup from big wins last week.
Both won Group 1s, and they're trying to back up to do and to win 2 Group 1s in a week. So we've got Colette from that gate. Gate 4 will push forward. I think that Superstorm will probably go back from the outside gate. There are a few horses that are going to be back. So KO Nautic, Hungry Heart, Private Eye, Superstorm. We're going to sort of be in that clump and just see what happens when you get to the long Flemington Straight. Look, with Zaki, again, we're going to talk about it because the last time we seen him, Craig Williams got a little bit of grief over that ride in the Caulfield Stakes in the Might and Power. So, look, if J-Mac jumps out here and just says, I'm going to let the big boy roll, it wouldn't stun me. He just goes over, sits outside Homesman, takes the lead, but he just needs to be comfortable. James McDonald, in the form that he is, he will just go, all right, what am I feeling? Yeah, I'm going to sit behind Delasan. I'm just going to roll and make this really a nice staying test. So put him wherever you want, James McDonald. Again, I am on your side, but it will be a very interestingly run race because Homesman and Delasan, you think, would be right there at the front of the pack.
Now, I find the betting really interesting here because Zaki at 240, you can actually get better odds than you could get to win a much, much harder Cox Plate.
Remarkable. Remarkable scenes, but of course he has missed a race. He's had 4 weeks off now. Does that hamper him? the temperature, that little mishap. But I just think right now that 240 is a
What
nice
happens
price.
with his price, though? Does he go in or out? Are the punters waiting? Because there's no massive early move either way.
It's interesting. Look, I think it'll be a little bit shorter than that. I'd be stunned if he gets to 240, but I will, just looking at some of these prices. I'm going to have a Ladbrokes same race multi here. Zaki to win, and I'll get to my tips in a minute, but Dalasan to run top 4 and Hungry Heart to run top 3. You're going to have to probably bet a little exotically to be able to get a bit of a win out of this race. But 240 right now for Zaki. I'm 5 out of 5.
Right up there again.
Yeah, look, I understand this. I was that confident in a Cox Plate. And this is an easier field, so I think he wins, and I think Hungry Heart will run a big race.
Yeah, look, I'm going with Zaki, but nowhere near the confidence. I always worry when a horse has had, any sort of setback and missed a feature race. And, gee, I think Superstorm. Bob Peters won this last year with Arcadia Queen. Luke Curry jumped on at the last minute. He does the same on Superstorm here. Back into the lab for a look at the Darley Sprint Classic, being won by some wonderful sprinters, including Nature Strip over the years. And is this another Nature Strip benefit?
Well, it's hard to see it going any other way. The barrier draw doesn't mean as much. The straight 6, the famous straight 6, the 1,200 metres straight down at headquarters. Drawn barrier 2 is the best sprinter in the world, and James McDonald can pretty much do whatever he wants when they jump and go straight down towards the grandstand.
Well, I note here, so they jump out at the top of the straight and run all the way down in a straight line. You've got them sticking to the inside rail.
No, not necessarily. I've just got that because it was easy to do. Simply, the best horse in the race and the best sprinter in the world will jump. James McDonald can have a look around. They walk the track. They're going to know after the wear and tear. The track has been playing beautifully. Well, they'll know where the best places to go are on the track. Once, in particular, you get to the course proper at about the 500 metre mark. So he will jump, and wherever he goes on Nature Strip is where the entire field will go. So if he goes into the middle of the track, they'll all go out here. I think in order, they're just going to be jumping and trying to hold on to into his slipstream and hoping and praying he's having a really bad day.
There's nothing that can go with him for speed.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. His cruising speed is as high as I've ever seen in any horse in recent times. So if it's the outside he has to get to, he'll be able to get to it. When he won it a couple of years ago, he was on the outside. When he ran second last year, he was in the middle of the track. But wherever James McDonald jumps, he'll look over and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go here, and everyone else will probably follow him, kind of herded towards him, and in the end, they'll just try and hang on and see what happens in the last couple of 100 metres.
$1.35 is very short, though. He did get beaten last year.
Yeah, I know, but Bivouac's not in this race. But $1.35, it is short for a Group 1, but I kind of think it's overs. He was outstanding in the Everest, and this field, if you have a look at this ain't anywhere near an Everest field. It's a little disappointing, to be honest, the depth of it, so that's about right.
September run may be the other class runner.
Oh, well,
no, you're off.
She was 12 months ago when she won the Coolmore, and again, she ran second in the Lightning to Nature Strip back in the autumn, but I gave her one last chance down the straight last week, and she let me down last Saturday. But I must be said, it is very hard to find anyone to get near him.
You've broken the confidence meter.
Yeah, I was stuffed up. I meant to write 7, but it's only a 6. I'm extremely confident. I think Ranch Hand, he ran okay in the Coolmore. I would have loved to see Home Affairs in the race. Of course, was probably never going to happen, but he's my roughie. But it's hard to go against the big boy.
Well, on with Nature Strip as well. I haven't broken the rules
I have
and
some
gone.
courage, mate. Give us a real number.
I didn't know you were allowed to go above 5, and I reckon Samazdat, it's smashed the clock with its closing sectionals, and I think it's one to put in the trifecta.